Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Shanna Christmas, Occupational Therapy Assistant, world traveler, stand-up comedian, writer, and clown. And welcome to another episode of Healthcare is a Joke. I am so excited for this week because it's my last week of this assignment. I was supposed to do 13 weeks, but our contract got cut short by 1 week because the rehab company that I work through lost their contract with 20 buildings. So we're all done by Friday. And I couldn't be happier, honestly, because the place I work at is terrible. In this week's episode, we're going to focus on compliance and complaints. Let's get into it. Wait, before we get started, be sure to subscribe to this channel and look out for more stand-up comedy content and news stuff coming back soon. Let's get into it for real this time. Okay, so as you all know, I do occupational therapy. I'm at a nursing home at this place, and I want to talk about compliance and complaints because I got a lot of them, okay? I've never seen a place be run so horribly, and every day I feel like I'm risking my license. And there is a phone number that we can call and snitch on our employees or our fellow coworkers when we see something wrong. There is a compliance coordinator. Usually the power structure is that if you have a complaint about a CNA or a nurse, you complain to the director of nursing, the DON, and they're supposed to handle it. Now, if they don't handle it, then you go above their head to the administrator. Unfortunately for us at this place, the DON sucks and the administrator sucks even more dick than anybody else. Nothing against sucking dick, but when you're supposed to be running a building, having your dick in your mouth is probably a distraction. So he sucks. There is a phone number you can call when you see somebody doing abuse or neglect or any kind of, and the abuse can be anything. It can be verbal, it can be physical, obviously. Neglect could be leaving a patient in the room for hours, in urine, which happens a lot at the place that I work. There are many mornings when I'm walking around looking for a patient who's ready to do anything. And most of the time they're still in bed at 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. And you try to get them up for therapy and their entire bed is soaking wet and they haven't been changed since the shift before. And you can't find the CNA because she's in the car sleeping or hiding in the kitchen or hiding in the break room or hiding. And I want to tell on her so bad because everybody hates her. Every patient she has hates her. Her coworkers hate her. She sucks, but nobody complains. And here we are. But I do know that this week is my last week, and I'm probably going to start telling on everybody. Can't wait. Because the power structure sucks. I've gone to the DON about people multiple times. She doesn't do anything. And you feel like you are running around in circles trying to get anything done, and nobody cares. And then that makes you not care. And I'd hate to be one of those people who doesn't care about what I do. And that's why I don't do these jobs anymore, because it bears down on your actual soul and it makes you feel really, really bad. There are numbers you can call. I've already filed 2 complaints on the building with the state. I went to the California Board of Public Health and I've already entered in 2 anonymous ones about the building. I don't know if anybody's looking at that, but I imagine if somebody would make a call to like the ombudsman, maybe that would work. But I'm not allowed to call the state on, about a patient complaining because I don't know their full complaint, right? I can only complain on behalf of them, but not, I feel like it's more powerful if the patient calls or if a family member calls. But people tend to look to the therapist because we spend the most time with the patients, and I think they think that we have some power, and we literally have 0 power. I can complain about somebody, nobody cares, but if the family member complains, they still don't care, actually. They don't care. So you have to go outside the building to see if something will happen. And for the most part, I don't even believe that that's going to do anything either, unfortunately. I feel like some of these systems are just broken, and the pandemic just showed how bad they were, and we learned nothing from it, and now they're worse. Unfortunately, that's kind of how I feel about it. There was an instance just on Friday where one of my coworkers was trying to get a patient out of bed, and he was covered in feces all over his bed. And it might have been 10 o'clock in the morning. So she's running around. Have you seen the CNA? CNA, you can't find her. She runs to the DON. DON says, I'll tell her. No one gets mad about any of this stuff. It's like, don't come to me complaining about CNA. It's just, they suck. What are you going to do? I feel like everybody just kind of gave up in that building. If they started out being a caring person, they no longer care. And it's all just What are you going to do? Nobody wants to work here full time. This is the crew that we have. And the boss doesn't care because he's making money. So that's the frustrating part, is that you're seeing all these horrible things happen, and anybody you complain to, they don't care either. So you kind of have to go over their heads. And people obviously are scared to do that, not me. I have filed complaints on 3 buildings in my career. 2 were in New York. And if they're really bad, I'll at least file a complaint. I don't know if anything happens from them, but I do feel like I'm trying to help in that way. But I don't know. The ombudsman, I've never had anybody call. Maybe they did call when something happened. I don't know. But we're not allowed to tell people this is the number you can call. We just have to clue them in. Like, hey, man, if you don't like what's going on here, if you walk down this hallway, there's a big poster with a phone number on it. Maybe you can call it. But even then, sometimes people get scared to call because they don't want to hurt someone's feelings or endanger someone's job. It's like they're endangering your life every day that they're here. Your life is at risk with this person here because they're terrible at their job. And so you're the one who's suffered the consequences of this person's bad job, you know? But that's usually what the issue is, a lot of these things. These things continue to happen because people don't speak up for fear of retribution. And I understand that, but it'll keep happening, you know? There was actually an occupational therapist who was fired about a month ago for fraud. She had access to everybody's time punch in on a computer. So people would get to work at like 9 o'clock, but she would punch them in at 6 and they would all leave at 2 o'clock. And so she was just making it look like they were at work all day long when they weren't. And that's fraud. And she got caught. She got fired. But since my building is going in-house next week because all the travelers are leaving, they brought her back. She's going to be there full time again. And she's going to be up to her shenanigans, not doing her therapy, just pretending to do it and just billing for it, because that's what the administrator wants. He doesn't care if you actually see the patients or if they get better. You get 100 days of Medicare, okay? And after 100 days, they kick you out. You're no longer useful to them. You don't make them any money, and that's it. And it's really, really unfortunate that that's how these places are run now. It's a business. It's a healthcare business, but it's definitely not about helping people get better. So I wish I could complain on everybody, but so what I think I want to do this week, I'm going to probably call the compliance police on probably 2 CNAs who suck. I'm going to write the number down and I'm going to complain, and I'm just going to see what happens. And I don't care because I don't work there all the time. So my week is over. This is my last week and I'm going out in style, baby. Oh my gosh, there was another incident with an OT who came to work drunk and they sent him home. That's all. They just sent him home. They didn't call the Board of Occupational Therapy and report his license. Nothing. You know how I know? Because they brought him back. He still works there. That's how bad this is. That's how desperate they are to keep people full time. They won't change their standards of care and make it a good place to work. They'll just hire people who are bad at their jobs and unethical. But as long as they sign the papers and the papers line up right, they make them money. They don't care about the stuff that I care about or some of my coworkers care about. We're here to try to actually help people. But they're like, that's not the job, baby. The job is to make money. And so I'm glad to be leaving. And I feel bad for the patients who are still left after we leave. But I am for sure going to call the compliance police this week on at least one CNA in particular because I hate her and I want her to lose her job. Anyways, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad about it. Okay, so that's it for this week. I might do one more at the end of this week just to let you know how the whole week wrapped up. But that's going to be it for this series, I think. And I appreciate you guys joining me on this random ride for this job that I started doing again, even though I didn't want to. And listening to all these horrible stories from, healthcare, because it's not all great. And I'm sorry I wasn't as funny as I was supposed to be, but I'm just supposed to complain. And I hope you guys like hearing it and understanding what I'm doing. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Please subscribe, share with an OT or a PT or a speech or anybody who has a loved one in a place like this because they need to know what's going on. And don't forget to buy a book. Head on over to my website right now and get you a signed copy. All right. See you next time. Bye.